Hello and welcome back to Suspended Fanimation. I'm your host, Dennis Bithoulkas, and it's time for the 100th episode of Saturday Morning Blast Off. Welcome, everybody. Yeah, 100 episodes of Saturday Morning Blast Off. That's right. And actually, Monday will be the 2-year anniversary of this channel. So, yeah, let me take care of some business first, and then we'll get down to it because there's a shit ton of news that dropped this week. If you like what you see here, like, share, and subscribe. If you're still on the fence about subscribing, you're going to see a video that pops up at the very end here. Basically, what YouTube does, takes the algorithms of all the stuff you've been watching and tries to match it as best as possible one of the videos in my vast video library and pops it up there just for you. And if you like what you see there, hit that subscribe button down there. Also, if you want to know when I'm going to be on live again next, you hit the bell down below. It's a 50-50 chance of YouTube actually notifying you. Best thing to do is go to suspendedfanimation.com, where I put up the schedule every week. Also, I have the all the links to my social media. So Twitter, Instagram, Patreon. No tiers straight up on the Patreon because I'm waiting till I hit 1,000 subscribers. That way, when you're giving me money, I'm giving you something in return. Also, I have the link to this YouTube channel, my Facebook page. And for those of you who still have Facebook, a Facebook group page where you guys can post stuff and chat amongst yourselves. All right. So yeah, holy shit. I guess, Disney decided that in honor of my 100th episode, they were going to give me a shit ton of news, and they did not disappoint, quite honestly. So much I have 2 pages of notes here. I usually do notes for my stuff. So Disney Plus is now going to be the home to 10 Marvel series, not movies, 10 Marvel series, 10 Star Wars series, and 15 live action Disney and Pixar series as well. Oh yeah, and they're increasing their price by $1, so they're going up to $7.99 a month. That's actually not a bad trade-off, tell you the truth. I'm all for that. $7.99 for this much stuff. Yeah, I mean, and there's a lot of good stuff. So first off, we're getting the Bad Batch, which we saw at the last season of Clone Wars. They're getting their own series, their own animated series. So we got that in a trailer, that announcement. The other thing I thought was kind of badass, we already knew the Obi-Wan Kenobi series was happening, but Hayden Christensen is signed on as Darth Vader. Yeah, Hayden Christensen has signed on as fucking Darth Vader. And honestly, he's not a bad actor. I was saying this last night in the Mandalorian review, and he is not a bad actor. He's just had bad direction and bad script. Is really what he had. Yeah. Apple Crow says, I feel like this might be too much Star Wars again. No, not really, Apple Crow. I mean, I look at it this way. You can pick and choose. Star Wars has always been prolific, where there's been a shit ton of Star Wars stuff out there, and you can pick and choose whatever you wanted to. There was video games, comics, whatnot, and you could always pick what you wanted and leave the rest behind if you didn't like it. And I feel it never really has changed. Now we're just getting more TV shows, TV series, but it's all limited to one channel is really what it's going on. Yeah. Some of the other stuff that's coming out, I mean, there's a lot of stuff that's coming out. This one I thought was kind of cool. The Acolyte is a series following a dark side user in the last days of the High Republic. That actually sounds pretty cool. And it's also written and directed by a Russian doll director. And I'm blanking on her name all of a sudden, but she's the one who's writing and directing that one. So, yeah. What was the big if? That could be a big if. What's a big if? The too much Star Wars. But yeah, I'm looking forward to that as well. I mean, that actually sounds pretty good, and she's a good writer and a good director, man. I'm all for it. I might be going through these a little too fast, but slow me down. If I'm just excited about all the stuff that we're getting. We're also getting a series titled Lando. Yes, which is about Lando Calrissian. We don't know who's going to be playing him. If it's going to be Donald Glover who's playing him, if Billy D. Williams is coming back, if it's going to be a mixture of both. We really don't know. And it was just announced that we're having a Lando series. Thanks, Dante S. Um, so yeah, it's gonna be fun to see where that comes from. And mind you, these are gonna be spread out over from now until 2023, over the next 3 years. So it's not like it's all gonna be hitting us all at once. It's just gonna be spread out. Will it be animated or live action? All live action, Apple Crow. This is all live action that we're talking about here. Um, Patty Jenkins is also going to be directing a Rogue Squadron movie, which, of course, is about Luke Skywalker and Wedge Antilles' fighter pilot team that they've put together. And, if you ever play the video game, of course, Rogue Squadron, there's that out there. So yeah, it looks pretty fucking cool. Actually, her little trailer that she had uh, was kind of nice with her rollerblading across a runway, and then talking about how she always wanted to do a fighter pilot movie but can never find the right um, script. Nothing seemed to come about until now, is what she says. And you see her put on, a flight suit, the bright orange flight suit of a rebel pilot, and of course the helmet. And she's going into a full scale mock up of an X-wing, which was kind of cool. Yeah. Yeah, that trailer was pretty damn good. I liked it. It was a lot of fun. And we'll get into more Patty Jenkins news at the end here. There's just, like I said, a ton of stuff. Filoni and Favreau are going to be producing 2 new Star Wars series. Rangers of the New Republic, which I believe is going to deal with Marshal Cara Dune. I'm still on the fence about that one just because of Gina Carano and her recent tweets, but we're not going to get into that. And the other series, of course, is going to be Ahsoka, which is fucking awesome. Because this leads into another tangent line, which was Lars Mikkelsen, who voiced the animated character of Grand Admiral Thrawn, is supposedly in talks to play Grand Admiral Thrawn. And he looks like Grand Admiral Thrawn. Of course, doesn't have the blue skin or anything like that, but he's tall, lanky, skinny. He's even got the long face that Thrawn has and all that stuff. And I can see him as Grand Admiral Thrawn. And he's already voiced him and done a really creepy job of it too. If you haven't seen Star Wars Rebels, I highly recommend that you watch the Grand Admiral Thrawn arc, because he just does a great voiceover present. I mean, he does it's very like brought down in tone, and in the way he does it, he never gets angry. He's always very even keeled but very demonic at the same time. And it's really nice. They did a really nice job. And I really hope he gets the job, because we know that Ahsoka is looking for Grand Admiral Thrawn because of what we saw in The Mandalorian. And yeah, it's fuck yeah, man. I'm looking forward to both those as well. Anything that Favreau and Filoni are involved in, I'm there. So yeah. We also got confirmation of everything that's coming out here. Of WandaVision, of course, we know that's coming out January 15th here. Loki, Falcon and Winter Soldier, which got a trailer. Both Loki and Falcon and Winter Soldier both got trailers. And we know that Falcon and Winter Soldier is coming out in March 15th of next year. What if? So I don't know if that's going to Hulu or if it's going to Disney Plus. I think it might be going to Hulu on that one. Miss Marvel, we got a little bit of footage on that. And then, of course, we got confirmation that, yes, Tatiana Maslany is playing She-Hulk. Yes, she is. And Hawkeye, where we finally got confirmation that Haley Steinfeld is playing, of course, Kate Bishop. But there's been no mention of Moon Knight, which supposedly was just announced that they had hired or cast Moon Knight. And now we don't know about that. Yeah. Apple Crow says, I heard she said some dumb stuff, and looking at her post, I love the character, but damn, she is a nutter. I know you're talking about Gina Carano, and yeah. That's why I'm not getting into it, because I'll really get into it hard. Yeah, I know Panther is a Loki I didn't get it. I didn't get a chance to post it up there. Like I said, there is so much stuff, and I've got so much happening as well that yeah, I dropped the ball on posting that on my page because I just, I'm one person right now. So yeah, my God, the amount of stuff. Also, on top of all of that, we also found out that in WandaVision, they're going to introduce the character America Chavez, who can punch portals. Basically, is what she does as one of her powers, and that is going to mean that she is heavily involved in Spider-Man 3 as a result, because she is the reason why multiverses are coming into play with her punching portals into different universes. Yeah, yeah. Uh, uh, Dante S says I had to look at the Loki trailer 3 times to get it. Yeah, it's oh my god. So yes, this actually translates into Spider-Man 3 as a result. And I've got Spider-Man 3 news coming up in this as well, but we're only talking about the Disney Plus Disney stuff at the moment because there's so much shit. And am I halfway through this? I'm halfway through the amount of stuff that I've got here. I'm actually looking at my list and checking it twice. And yes, we know you've all been naughty. Some of you have been nice. Um, so the other new series that they have announced are once we're getting a holiday special for Guardians of the Galaxy that's coming to Disney Plus from James Gunn, which I thought was kind of funny. They're just doing a one-off holiday special, and I'm fairly sure he's going to do it in the vein of the Star Wars holiday special. He's going to make it cheesy, so I'm looking forward to that one. But the other series, live action series, by the way, Apple Crow, that they are talking about doing here is Secret Invasion. So they've brought in Samuel L. Jackson to reprise his role as Nick Fury after what we saw at the end of Spider-Man Far From Home. If you go to the mid-credit scene, I believe is what it is, you get an idea of what's going on with Secret Invasion. Also, Don Cheadle is going to be back for Armor Wars. That's right. They're going to be doing Armor Wars. And I believe he's also going to be in Ironheart. So they are doing all of those as series. If you don't know what Armor Wars is, it's part of the Iron Man comic series. Uh, it's a huge arc in the comics. And Ironheart is basically the successor, Tony Stark's successor to the Iron Man armor. And it's not War Machine. It's Ironheart in the comics. Uh, so yeah, I'm looking forward to all of this stuff, man. I mean, this is the stuff that if you read comics, if you're someone my age who read comics as a kid and also just read comics, was a comic collector and stayed in comics and all that stuff. This is all the shit that we all dreamed would never see in our lifetime. And here it is. And it's all coming out as live action, which is just fucking amazing. Um, on top of this, I think they're going to be spending like close to $9 billion over the next 3 years is what they're going to be doing, which is fucking amazing. The amount of money, and I can see why they're increasing the subscription cost by $1. They were talking about Disney Plus as well, that they have over 83 million subscribers right now, which is fucking awesome. It really is. And it's growing. So they are rivaling Netflix right now, which I think has worldwide something like 140 million subscribers, somewhere around there. Maybe it's 240. I can't remember offhand. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on. Ant-Man and the Wasp 3 now has a official title of Quantum Mania, and it's been confirmed that Jonathan Majors, from Lovecraft Country, is going to be playing Kang the Conqueror. That's right, he's going to be playing Kang the Conqueror. Again, shit I never would have expected to see in live action, in movies, taken seriously in my lifetime, and that's what's going on. They're finally realizing that there are stories and money to be made. Disney made in 2019, they made $13 billion off of movies. $7 billion off of that was just from 7 different movies alone that made over $1 billion and each. So that's their movie revenue. Also in their streaming, they're not stupid about what they're doing. They're losing money right now on their parks. Their parks being closed, except for Florida, which is a super spreader event anyway. Uh, and yeah, they're losing shit tons of money on the parks. So this is how they're making it up, is by putting money back into doing feature films, streaming services, all that kind of stuff. And it's a good focus. I mean, they did a good shift. If I was an investor in Disney, I would be okay with my money. I'd say, sure, I'm going to leave it there, because this is all good news. It really is, that they're talking about all of this. And this is just the Marvel stuff that we've talked about too, and the Star Wars and Marvel at this point. Black Panther 2, they've announced they're not going to be recasting T'Challa, which I agree with. I don't think you should at this point. Yeah, I mean, unless you're going to reboot it like 10 years down the line, leave it as is. This was some interesting news. John Watts, who's directed both Tom Holland Spider-Man movies, he is now going to be directing the first MCU version of the Fantastic Four. That's right. So we've got the Fantastic Four live action. This is number 4 that they're going to be doing of the Fantastic Four. There's Roger Corbin's version. There is that really shitty Jessica Alba version. And then there's the even shittier Josh Trank version. And so this is going to be number 4. And you know what they say, 4th time's the charm. So hopefully we'll get this one right at this point, because man, Marvel's first family really, really, really needs to get a win on the Fantastic Four. And I have hope on this one because Kevin Feige's involved, and I know he is yes, it is the 4th one. Well, technically it's the 5th Fantastic Four movie, because the Jessica Alba one had a sequel. It had Rise of the Silver Surfer. So the Josh Trank one, don't even bother looking at it. It's a huge pile of shit. I mean, just a huge pile of shit. Don't bother looking at it. The Roger Corman version was a lot better, even with the rubber suit and everything. Apple Crow says, I do have a beef with them recasting the video game Peter Parker. I hear the new one is supposed to look more like Tom Holland, but I don't see it, and he looks kind of preppy to me. Okay. Like someone you cast for a Flash Jump. Oh, okay. I haven't played it, Apple Crow, because again, I don't have a PS5, because the bots have bought them all, and I'm going to be moving and all that stuff, so my money's going to be spent elsewhere. Hey, Stanley. And no, I'm not going back to the beginning, Stanley, to tell you what's going on. This is also some big news. I had talked about this before, and Noah Hawley was hinting at this, but he is actually going to be working on the Alien franchise to make a series for FX. He's making a series franchise, or a series of the Alien franchise for FX. And I think that's actually in really good hands. I'm glad that Ridley Scott is nowhere near this fucking thing, because he's off doing, the Dances with Wolves, or Raised by Wolves. That's what it was. That really shitty show. He is in WB territory and as far away from Disney as possible. And I like that. He needs to stay away from the Alien franchise forever at this point. Oh, man. Yeah, Apple Crow. I'm looking forward to the Miles Morales stuff, but like I said, I'm not doing it until I get a PS5, and that's going to be later on in the future. Penn says, I'm curious to see the Alien franchise show. Yes, I am too. It's Noah Hawley. I mean, come on. You have a curfew since 5 minutes ago. Welcome to the party. Of course, we never get ours enforced, and that's the reason why we get shit spreading everywhere. Anyway, there's been some other stuff that's been mentioned as well by Kathleen Kennedy. So, Children of Blood and Bone, which is a book series, is being made into a TV or a Disney Plus series. They're going to be doing that, which sounds interesting. They also reminded us that, or threatened us with the Willow series that's coming back with Ron Howard, producing, I believe, and a fifth Indiana Jones movie with James Mangold directing. And yes, Harrison Ford, who's pushing 80, is going to be starring in it. I don't know if I want to see geriatric Indiana Jones. I mean, if those of you who remember the Young Indiana Jones show that George Lucas did back in the 90s, I want to say like early 90s, each episode was introduced by geriatric Indiana Jones who had a patch over his eye and was like 105 or something. I don't know. And he was relaying the story to usually a kid as kind of a history lesson in a way. I really don't want to see Harrison Ford and otherwise in that capacity. I'd rather see him delivering that kind of stuff and seeing a younger person play Indiana Jones than what we got going on. Apple Crow says maybe we'll see how he loses his eye. That's not canon anymore since Disney bought it. No longer canon. Stanley Treadle says this big Disney investor info dump seems like a desperate attempt not to go bankrupt. Yeah, in a way, it's to keep people to keep their money where it's at instead of pulling it out because of the parks being closed for almost a year. And I don't blame them. I just talked about that this is actually a very smart move, and if I was an investor in Disney, I would be keeping my money exactly where it's at. It's actually kind of dumb to move your money around right now anyway because of where everything is. But anyway, and the final thing that I've got is we got 7 new series based on animated fare, and this is all animated series, by the way. So we've got Baymax, which of course is a series based on Big Hero 6. Excuse me. Zootopia is going to have its own series. Raya, the Last Dragon, which I don't know anything about. Encanto, which is set in Argentina, which is a new series. Tiana, of course, which is based on The Princess and the Frog. Moana has its own explanation there. It's based on Moana. And another one that's I'm really interested in seeing is it's a new series of Afrofuturistic stories set in Lagos, Nigeria, called, and I'm probably going to murder it, Awaju. And that one actually sounds really fucking interesting. I'm looking forward to all of this. This is some really good stuff. This again is going to be coming out over the next 3-4 years. They're going to spread it out over all of that, and that's actually not a bad thing. And I know everyone keeps saying, "Oh, fatigue." Well, then of course, also you're looking at what's on your streaming services as you're sequestered at home, going, "Where's the next new thing? Where's the next new thing?" Gobble, 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 gobble. And you're looking for the next new thing. Disney's just telling you, "Hey, we've got a shitload of new stuff that we're going to be giving to you over the next couple of years," and I'm happy with this. No Boba Fett series. It wasn't announced, Stanley. It was not announced. There's going to be some stuff that pops up that they're probably still working on. They didn't even mention the Moon Knight series. So yeah, there's definitely going to be stuff that comes about later. All right. So now that we've gotten through the Disney investor dump, so you remember that Wonder Woman is coming out on Christmas Day, right? Wonder Woman 1984 is coming out on Christmas Day. And Gal Gadot and Patty Jenkins said that's a great idea because they're putting out both on HBO Max and theaters on the same day. Well, it's now come to light that both Gal Gadot and Patty Jenkins both have received over $10 million each in a payout deal to basically agree with all of that, to say, yes, that's a great idea, boss. And more power to them that they actually worked that deal out. I'm okay with that too, that they did that. They should be getting that anyway. Well, this is also pissed off a shit ton of people that because Warner Brothers just announced that all their 2021 movies are now going to be doing the same thing, released in theaters and on HBO Max at the same time. And they're like, "Where's our payout? You know, where's our payout, motherfucker?" Dennis Villeneuve, however his name is pronounced, who directed Dune, that's supposed to be coming out, is pissed because he's saying you're going to kill the franchise before it even begins. And I'm like, no, your directing is going to do that anyway. So it's already going to happen because of that. So people are bitching and moaning, but as a direct result of all of this, now all these agencies that normally cast, their send their directors or actors and actresses towards Warner Brothers are now boycotting Warner Brothers and are sending their talent elsewhere as a result of all of this, because the agencies are listening directly to their people, and they're like, okay, well, what we'll do is we won't send you them, any of that stuff. No, it's not Dennis Envy, and I got where you're going with that, and I actually added the extra the way you're supposed to say it. No, his movies just really suck. I fell asleep in the first 5 minutes of Blade Runner 2049, and I was fully had a full 8 hours of sleep the night before. Yeah. That explains why Dennis was upset about Dune going to HBO Max. Yeah, Apple Crow. Because if you knew that another director got over a $10 million payout, you would be pissed off as well. To each their own, Stanley. To each their own. That's all I'm going to say. Apple Crow says, in other Dune hack news, Brian and Kevin rewrote the original for a comic version. Brian and Kevin. Oh, you're talking about Kevin Smith? Yeah. But you also shat all over chapter 15. I didn't shit all over it. I just said it. I pointed out some flaws. I am not impossible to please. Oh, Brian Herbert and Kevin J. Oh, that's right. His kid. I forgot about that had written that. I remember now. I saw that news and I just kind of passed over it. And speaking of more Warner Brothers drama, guess what's getting rebooted already at HBO? But True Blood is getting a reboot. And this time around, with the original series creator and the guy who did Riverdale. Be afraid. Be very, very, very afraid if you have the one of the showrunners from Riverdale working on your reboot of a series. Maybe they're just trying to appeal to teen audiences. I don't know. Yeah. Is it a reboot or a transfusion? He'll be here all week, folks. Remember to tip your waitresses and try the veal while you're at it as well. Good Lord. That was a reach on that one, Apple Crow. That was a reach on that joke. We're just gonna let that one settle for a moment. We're gonna take a moment of silence for that joke dying, and we're done. Guess what else is coming back to life? Buck Rogers. Bitty bitty bitty. That's right. Buck Rogers is being they're working on a new TV series for Buck Rogers with comic book scribe Brian K. Vaughan writing the script for that. And I'm okay with that, really. It's been what, 80s? I think the 80s since Buck Rogers had a TV. Well, no, I take that back. There was a aborted attempt on sci-fi back in the early 2000s to try and do a Buck Rogers TV series, and they tried to do a really serious take on it. Flash Gordon. They were doing Flash Gordon. I take that back. It was not Buck Rogers. So yeah, Buck Rogers hasn't been redone into a series since the 80s. And it'll be interesting to see how he does this. If he's going to go, of course, it's not going to have Aaron Gray. Although, who knows? They might bring Aaron Gray out of retirement and bring her back, and that would be kind of cool. Yes, Aaron Gray, who kickstarted many, 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 many teenagers into puberty back in the 80s with that skin tight silver outfit. She was one of the best things about Buck Rogers, and her acting ability too. Yes. So I'm not disparaging either one. I am being truthful about that. So there you go. But yeah, I'm looking forward to that. It'll be interesting to see how that comes about. No word yet on to where it's going to be at, but Legendary Entertainment is working on that right now. Oh man. And this is somebody who anything he does, I will watch. George Miller, his new movie, 3,000 Years of Longing. Longing. There we go. Has started filming in Australia. Actually, it's about 20 some odd days into filming of a 60-day shoot, I believe is what they said. Yeah, it's a 60-day shoot. And it stars Idris Elba and Tilda Swinton. That is interesting. That actually is very interesting. And I really want to see that. Sorry. I was having a phone call for Pepper's grooming appointment, which is coming up at 2:00. But I'm gonna let that go to voicemail. All right. So yes, George Miller, and again, I really want him to. They just need to give him money and just do whatever the hell he wants, because George Miller makes great fucking movies, which is the opposite of Dennis Villeneuve. I'm sorry, Philip. I had to take that one last dig. There we go. So going back to the whole Spider-Man 3 thing that I was talking about earlier, and America Chavez and the multiverse and all of that stuff, Alfred Molina has been hired back as Doc Octopus again in Spider-Man 3. Of course, it's on top of the news that Jamie Foxx is returning as Electro. Kirsten Dunst is coming back as MJ. And also the rumors that Maguire and Garfield are coming back both as Peter Parker and their respective Spider-Men. Yes. And on top of all of that, supposedly Charlie Cox has coming back as Daredevil in this movie as well. Wow, that's all I can say is that that's a lot of fucking people for this movie. And Doctor Strange is supposed to be in it too. Like I said, America Chavez is supposed to be in this, punching holes, I guess, into the multiverses. Wow. That's all I can say. That's a lot of people. Yeah. Bruce Campbell as Mysterio? Possibly. Never say never. Although I think he's too old now. He might not want to play it. I don't know. You never know. So Apple Crow says, as Dennis likes to say, everyone is wrong about something. I don't say that. I say we all have differing opinions and not all of them are wrong. They're just differing of opinions. I never said everyone is wrong about something, unless, of course, you're talking about facts, and then, that's a different thing. There is, though, news, if you want to talk about Bruce Campbell, that there is a new Evil Dead video game coming out. I don't know when the release date is. I know it's in 2021. But yes, there is a new Evil Dead video game that has been announced. And it's going to be across all the platforms. So PS4, PS5, Xbox, PC, all that kind of shit. It's all being released all at the same time. They released a trailer for it just recently. I forgot to put that in my news feed there, but I did see that was out there. I saw Bruce had tweeted about it because I believe he's doing the voice work for it, if I'm not mistaken. Stanley says, so you like something for a change. About George Miller? Come on. George Miller is fucking gold, man. I mean, man, his movies are perfection. They really are. Yeah. A licensed video game's always good. Yes, they are. So yeah, I mean, Spider-Man 3 is looking to be a huge movie. It's probably gonna be like 3 hours long. It has to be with all this stuff in it. It looks like it's gonna be a multiverse movie at this point. It's got to be a multiverse movie at this point. And speaking of huge fucking casts, the voice cast for the upcoming animated series on Amazon called Invincible, it's based on the comic Invincible, is just huge and fucking amazing. So just alone, we've got Clancy Brown, we got J.K. Simmons, who's going to be playing the dad, John Hamm, who's playing the villain, Digimon Hanshu is going to be in there, Zazie Beetz, Steven Yen is actually going to be voicing the main character, and Zachary Quinto is going to be in it. I'm trying to think who else. Ezra Miller is in there. Jeffrey Donovan is in it as Machine Head. Nicole Byer is in it. Yeah. And I always murder his name. Mahershala Ali, of course, is going to be in there as Titan. It's amazing the amount of people that are in this thing. And that's just the voice cast. Excuse me. I'm looking forward to this. The comic is actually good. The comic is really good. It's been running an Image. I think actually it started Image Comics essentially. Yeah. I agree with you, Apocro. Babe was great. Yeah. Tell Apocro says, please tell me how it has new writers and not the last guys. Oh, you're talking about Spidey. Yeah. Philip A. Demick says the multi-Spideyverse sounds exciting, but is there going to be enough time to give each character some character? Don't know. Yeah. Applecrow says, is it bad that I can't stand Zachary Quinto just because I hated him? No, not at all. I don't like Zachary Quinto as an actor. I don't know what it is. His acting just kind of leaves me cold. It's really weird. Yeah. Stanley Trill says, I like the Invincible comic, didn't read it that far. I actually had issue 0 and issue number 1, which I sold for a pretty penny back in the day. And now I probably could have gotten a couple of $100 for each of them or even more. Then I got, in the double figures, deep into the double figures. So, what else we got here? I agree with Dennis for once. Wow. Oh, on Invincible on things. Yeah. Yes, I did love Zachary Quinto and Nosferatu because, and thank God that show got canceled. Oh man, he sucked in that show. I mean, sucked. And I think people are starting to realize you don't lead a series with him. He's great in an ensemble cast. There are certain actors that just work better in an ensemble cast and can't carry a movie or a TV show. Zachary Quinto is one. Anthony Mackie is another one. I'm kind of worried about, Falcon and Winter Soldier. Those are just 2 examples that come off the top of my head right now, but yeah. Yeah. Applecrow says, well, yeah, because that was Carl Urban. Has Carl Urban been bad at anything? Not that I could think of. I've pretty much enjoyed everything that Carl Urban's been in. I was just rewatching again Thor Ragnarok, where he's Scourge in that one. I completely forgot that he was in that as Scourge, and I thoroughly enjoyed his character as Scourge in that one. It's funny, where he's got, I went to Earth and I got these 2 little guns. I call this one Dis and this one Stroy. Together they are Destroy. His whole little rant to these women about, how he likes guns and pillaging from other worlds. That was the the perk of taking over Hemdale's job, which I thought was funny. Philip Ademic says, I love Zach as a villain in Heroes. I thought he made an okay Spock. Yeah. He's a lot better than the guy in Discovery who played Spock. Star Trek Discovery, yeah. Oof, man. That guy's like forgettable. Stanley Trio says, what about the Almost Human show with Carl Urban? That was one of my favorite shows, man. I was disappointed when that shit got canceled. That should have gotten a bump up. And there's so many things that Carl Urban has been in that needs a sequel. And of course, the top of the list is Dredd. Dredd needs to be made into a sequel. Why that has not gotten a sequel is fucking criminal. And there's no way you're going to get him back now at this point unless you're paying him shit tons of money with what's going on with the boys. Yeah, they're not getting him back anytime soon. So here was something interesting. So Marv Productions, which of course does the Kingsman series franchise. So the Kingsman franchise, Marv has said that they want to, or they're planning out about 7 more movies as well as a TV series, all based in the Kingsman universe. Okay, if you can, as long as they're not all about the same character, I'm okay with that. Spread out the love a little bit. There's a big universe. You can actually do multiple characters. You can do a Statesman series. You can do, the Kingsman, like they're doing the prequel to the Kingsman, the Kingsman, which I believe is supposed to be coming on. Yeah, that's supposed to be coming on HBO Max, which I'm really happy about because I wanted to see it. Yeah, some good. I'm okay with this. I really am okay with that, having that many movies and in a TV series out of it. Apple Crow says Dredd was lightning in a bottle. I think it's repeatable. Apple Crow, I really do. It just needed the money. That's all it needed. It needed the money in order to do a sequel. Considering they didn't have money when they were doing this, and that's why it's all set in one building instead of doing Mega City 1. That was the reason why they set it all in one building. It's because they didn't have the money. And that was smart on their part. I mean, it really is smart. I'm probably gonna have to go watch that fucking movie again. Just it's buried someplace in my DVD. My DVDs are on the floor over here. That's why I was looking at it. They're stacked up on the floor because, of course, I'm getting ready to move, kind of thing. So, yeah, packing and all that stuff. Yeah. Yeah. And so the final news that I've got here in my list of news stuff, this very, very long news stuff. Jamie Alexander has been confirmed to come back as Lady Sif in Thor: Love and Thunder. Yeah, it's about time, Jamie. Come on back. We miss you. I really want to see her come back. She was actually really good. She was a fun addition. And we know all the other warriors are dead because Hela killed them, and maybe they're going to get resurrected in Thor: Love and Thunder. Because remember, a lot of people in Valhalla got killed. Yeah. Or Asgard, excuse me, Valhalla, Asgard. Was she in Agents of Shield? Oh, that's right. She was in Agents of Shield's like very first season when they were still trying to tie it together to the movies. She was supposed to be the tie-in to the movies. They were trying to do it, and then they kind of gave up on it. After that, I think it was like they tried to tie it together the first like 3 or 4 episodes, and like, yeah, fuck it. We're just gonna go into the sci-fi realm, sci-fi realm. They could do a crossover with Cyberpunk 2077. You're talking about doing the Dredd series? Possibly. Exactly, Penn. When agents still had potential, when we were still optimistic about Agents of Shield's chances of bringing Marvel to TV. And then, of course, Jeff Loeb said, "Nope, fuck it. I'm gonna shit all over it." There you go. They managed it until Winter Soldier. No, they didn't. Yes, I agree. Penn, Agents of Shield in its attempt was the best of Jeff Loeb's Marvel TV run. That's about all I'll say on that. Well, no, I take that back. The Netflix stuff that Loeb was involved with was the best of the Marvel TV run. For network TV, Agents of Shield was pretty much the only thing that he had done, really, except for Inhumans, which the less talked about that, the better. Apple Crow says, I just feel like you could drop Carl as Dredd into anything and he'd make it work. Possibly. Yeah, possibly. They had connections to the MCU until Winter Soldier. Well, that was the second season, right, Stanley? Or in the middle of the first season? Somewhere around there. Dredd in Mando, the helmet stays on. It'll be a buddy cop show. Dredd and Mando, the helmet stays on. They both are the bad cop. It's just Mando's the least the lesser intimidating of the two. Especially if he ever. I still want to know, and I wasn't thinking about this until later on after I did the show last night. How in the fuck does Mando have a perfectly trimmed mustache underneath that helmet? How come he doesn't have scruff going on or anything like that? He looks like he's perfectly shaved and keeps a nice trim mustache and everything. If he doesn't remove his helmet sometime for days in front of people, how is that possible? Because this shit I had trimmed today because it was getting in my way. Dredd and Mando, the helmet stays on. Bad cop, judge cop. I think it could. I think it could work. Yeah. I am the law. This is the way. Auto shaving. That's it, Stanley. There's an auto shaving unit in the helmet. That's what else he's got in there. It's part of the add-on process. It does little quaffs. It'll quaff the beard and the mustache and whatnot inside the helmet. Drop it, creep. And RoboCop for measure. Dead or alive, you're coming with me. I still love the Peter Weller version. I don't, the whole. The first movie, of course, he did a different voice than when he, of course, went on to more incarnations. So, well, the second movie, I guess you could say, because he wasn't in the third movie. That was somebody else. I still can't believe that first movie was going to get an X rating for the amount of violence in it. And we see so much more violence now in movies on TV than we see in that movie now. I mean, but back then we weren't used to that kind of violence. And that was 1988, 89, somewhere around there. I think it was 89, if I remember correctly. Apple Crow says, what do you mean there is no RoboCop without Peter Weller? Peter Weller is an interesting cat, man. I mean, he is I don't know if anyone knows this. Some of you probably do. He, of course, is a professor of architecture and teaches back east. And occasionally he'll come out of his teaching gig to go and direct episodes of TV shows and whatnot. And yeah, I mean, it's just really weird. Or he'll go and do an acting gig like for a little bit, but he is primarily a teacher, a university professor. And yeah, who would have known? I mean, yeah, the dude is awesome. He really is. Apple Crow says, I'll say it again. Peter Weller is my main choice for Dark Knight Returns Batman. He did voice it, and he did a damn good job of it. I can see that, Apple Crow. but I can also see Michael Keaton as it. I didn't like Michael Keaton as Batman. I know, sacrilege and whatnot. The suit was just too rubbery for me, and yeah, he was always like this for some reason. I don't know why. It bothered me. Yeah. Peter Weller, Brian Mays, Dolph Lundgren need to make the modern League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. Yeah, you can also throw in Christopher Lloyd as Doc Brown in there too. Brian's Tweedle says, but are there any admirals? But are there other admirals in Star Trek? Yes, there are. Penn says, I'm torn. I would watch either in the role, but I'd love to see Keaton. Yeah. And Steve Martin with his banjo skills. Oh, man. Yeah, that's another good movie too, is Bowfinger and Dirty Rotten Scoundrels. Dirty Rotten Scoundrels, I think, is one of my favorite Steve Martin movies. The Jerk, don't get me wrong, is like the pinnacle for me of Steve Martin movies. Also, The Man with Two Brains is great as well. But I think Dirty Rotten Scoundrels. Well, Dirty Rotten Scoundrels is my favorite Frank Oz movie. Frank Oz directed movie. Uh, just because he does such a beautiful job of it. And also in Dirty Rotten Scoundrels, playing the role of the butler is Palpatine Shiv. Yeah, Shiv Palpatine. He's playing the butler. And at one point, I love when he's standing over Steve Martin, who's in the car, and he goes, "Welcome to hell." And say it like the Emperor, man. Welcome to hell. Stanley Tweedle says, Man with Two Brains is my favorite Steve Martin movie. It's a great movie. It really is. Well, also, Dead Men Don't Wear Plaid is a really good one, too. I keep forgetting about that one. I have it on DVD. So I have like I think it's a 3-pack on DVD of The Jerk, Man with Two Brains, and Dead Men Don't Wear Plaid. And yeah, Dead Men Don't Wear Plaid, Friends of Carlotta. Cleaning woman. Still gets me. Oh, it really does. Hey, Marlo, wear a goddamn tie. Yeah, The Jerk is great. It's so on PC now. And it's kind of like Blazing Saddles. Blazing Saddles would never be made in this day and age. Never, ever, 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 ever be made in this day and age. Just because of, I mean, I think they drop more N words than a Quentin Tarantino movie. Yeah, exactly, Penn. The Jerk would never be made. It'll be aired on like HBO. They'll probably do what they did with Blazing Saddles. So they've aired that on HBO Max, and they put a disclaimer before it about the language and the racism and stuff like that. And yes, they talk about it in there. That's actually what the movie's about. Is about racism. I mean, for God's sake, you had Richard Pryor as one of the writers in this thing. Stan Trail says, I don't know what The Jerk is. Probably different title in German. It's the one where he is a really dumb guy who he's a white guy who gets raised by a black family, and then he goes out on his own, thinking that he's black. One, and then also he becomes, he gets money, and then of course the downfall afterwards. If that gives you an indication. Or maybe we don't get movies about racism in Germany. There's too many jokes there, Stanley. I can't do it. They're all fighting to get out the door at the same time. It's a Three Stooges syndrome. They all blocked in the door at the same time. But yeah. Oh my god. Oh, he has a special purpose. Yeah. And his friend Patty was giving him a blowjob. She got him a blowjob. Oh my god. That's just some good stuff. Good stuff. These cans. He hates these cans. The movie has so much good stuff in it. It's Carl Reiner. I mean, Carl Reiner is awesome. He even, I mean, Carl Reiner is directing this, and he puts himself in the movie as himself, which is genius. He's only in it for like a brief, like a hot 30 seconds, but it's hella funny. And I just use the word hella because I am in California, so it is hella funny. Every now and then the California me comes out, so hella does sometimes. Oh, on that note, I should probably let you guys go for the day. Thank you to everybody who joined me today in the chat, and thank you if you made it this far in the video. If you're still on the fence about subscribing to this channel, and why wouldn't you be? Take a look at the video that pops up at the very end here. It's basically just for you. YouTube takes the algorithm of all the stuff you've been watching and tries to match it as best as possible. One of the videos from a vast video library and pops up there just for you. And if you like what you see there, hit that subscribe button down below there. Also, if you can, hit that like button and the share button as well. Also, if you want to know when I'm going to be on live again next, hit that bell down below there too. It's a 50-50 chance of YouTube actually notifying you. Best thing to do is go to suspendedfanimation.com. Take a look at the schedule that I put up there. I change it out every week. Also, I have the links to all my social media and the links to this YouTube channel, my Facebook page, and a Facebook group page if you guys want to post stuff and chat amongst yourselves. Stanley Tweedle says, cleaning woman is still my favorite joke. I used that one for years and just got puzzled looks. Yeah. My favorite memory of weird shit is me and a good friend of mine who actually lives in Germany now, believe it or not, Stanley. He's an American living in Germany. And this dude is like 6'7", I would say. He's a huge guy. Smartest motherfucker in the world, too, that I've ever met. He's got a PhD in biochemistry. You would never know it, though, with drinking with him. We're in Ghirardelli Square in San Francisco, Christmas time. We're looking for Christmas gifts and all this stuff. And I don't know what prompted me of saying it. I think it was something in one of the store windows, and I said, "What is best in life?" And he goes through the whole Conan thing, like loud in the square, to crush your enemies, to see your enemies driven before you, all that stuff. And people are staring at him, and he's not paying any attention to anybody else around him as he says this. And then he ends and he just walks away and goes to do his shopping. And the puzzled look on people's faces of what the fuck they just witnessed is gold. It really is gold. And it was around, like I said, around Christmas time. And it's really fucking funny. It really was. Yeah. Did anyone see the epic rap battle between Harry Potter and Luke Skywalker? No. No. I did not. And I feel much better for it too, Apple Crow. Yeah. And on that note, thank you everybody for joining me. I'm gonna let you guys go for the day, and thank you for everyone who joined me today in the chat. I will see you again. Oh, excuse me. Man, my throat is just all kinds of blah. What's coming up for the rest of this week? Tomorrow, I'm probably going to end up dropping that Who in the Hell is Bo-Katan that I keep threatening to do. So that's probably going to come tomorrow. It's just going to be upload. Monday will be His Dark Materials, and then also my 2-year anniversary on this channel. Tuesday will be Is It Worth My Time? And I think I'm going to do the Australian series Danger 5. So there's an obscure little Australian series on Amazon right now called Danger 5, which I found last night and was laughing hysterically. Wednesday I'll be off. Thursday I most likely will be off. And then, of course, Friday will be the season finale of The Mandalorian. And then we wrap everything back around again to Saturday morning blast off. So yeah. Oh, Apple Crow, you're familiar with Danger 5? I just found this gem and oh my god. Yeah. Uh that is going to be dropping tomorrow, Stanley. I just haven't made it yet, and then I'll upload it. So it's going to be an upload. It'll show up there. Yeah, it's on Amazon Prime right now. Yes, it is, Apple Crow. Yeah, I have never seen it. That's the first time I've seen it, and I had it in my queue of things, and I was like, "Oh, it's only half an hour." I put it on. I'm like, "What the fuck am I watching?" Yes, it's both seasons. Apple Crow. It is. Yes. Yeah. All right, everybody. Thank you. I'm gonna let you guys go for the day. Uh, don't let the door hit your ass on the way out. Otherwise, you may end up getting spanked with a really big paddle by the Disney investors because that was some crazy, insane shit that just dropped on Thursday. Thanks, everybody. I will see you again. Well, I'll see you, in an upload tomorrow, but I'll see you again on Monday. Until then, stay safe, be well, take care, and remember, wear a mask out there. It's getting ugly. Thanks, everybody. Have a good rest of your day.